battle with no retreat. Failures never taste the sweet. Science lessons learned in flight. Journey on through endless night. For the stars, we aim so high. The projected kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light.
Okay, welcome to the Space and Rocket Review. Space and Rocket Review. Now with more Starlink streams too. All right, first thing we're going to tee into here is the Starlink mission that's happening right now. All right, hi, I'm EJ, the host. All right, cool, sweet, good, great. Now that we got that out of the way, let's go. So, we have the Starlink 11-9 mission, which is launching out of Slick 4 at Vandenberg Space Force Base. This is carrying 27 Starlink V2 minis. Strongback is go for retract. This is SpaceX's 49th mission of 2025. The booster flying today is Booster 1063 on its 25th reuse. We'll be attempting a drone ship landing on Of Course I Still Love You, downrange in the Pacific Ocean.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Trey, we're probably going to have to, yeah. Rocket Review, now with 20% more Starlinks. T-minus 3 minutes.
Stage 1 log load is complete.
'25th reuse on 1063. That's pretty cool, man. That strong back looks so bad. It looks strong bad. All right, T-minus 2 minutes. We should get stage 2 LOX load complete here and a ground gas closeout. Never mind the booster. How old is that? There it is. How old is that dang fairing? It looks like both of those fairings have
gas closeouts.
Both of those fairings have flown some pretty both of those fairings have flown a lot of missions. That's what I'm trying to say. Firefly did not go. Their launch site's actually over there. It's up the coast a little bit. No, they did not go. They had a problem with their ground servicing equipment.
Falcon 9 isn't started up.
Okay. Falcon 9 has gone into startup here. That ground gas closeout is evacuating remaining propellants
Director, go for launch.
Out of the transporter erector to make sure that there's no propellants in the pad when the rocket goes, because it lights on fire if there's not. Launch director has reported go. We are sitting at T-minus 30 seconds and counting.
30 seconds.
I just said that. Paracron, they'll be fine. Haven't launched in a year. You got to dust off the cobwebs.
T-minus 15 seconds.
10.
T-minus 10.
Pad deluge
9,
system is on.
8, 7, 6.
Sound suppression
5,
water system is on.
4, 3, 2.
Ignition.
1. Ignition. And liftoff of Falcon 9. Go SpaceX, go Starlink.
Okay. Starlink 11-9 is in the air. Beautiful mid-afternoon launch here out of Vandenberg.
Vehicle is pitching downrange.
With booster 1063 flying on its 25th mission. The vehicle's doing a pitch kick, establishing proper gravity turn and rolling for its proper flight azimuth here. T plus 30 seconds. Everything looking good. Should get a call for power and telemetry here momentarily.
Power and telemetry nominal.
There it is. Should get a call here for supersonic.
Falcon 9 is supersonic.
And then maximum dynamic pressure.
Max Q.
Good. Maximum dynamic pressure is peak aerodynamic load being exerted on the vehicle. It's the largest amount of stress that gets put on Falcon 9 because it can't move the gases from the atmosphere out of the way fast enough. So what it does is it slows down. It slows down. It throttles back the engines for a second, but you got to remember the rocket's going up, and when it gets high enough, it can throttle the engines back up when there's not enough when there's enough atmosphere out of the way. You can see Slick 2. Slick 2 is over there. That's where Firefly's attempt was before. We have second stage engine cooling here, or second stage engine chill down, which is priming the second stage motor in preparation for flight here. What you're going to see here is main engine cutoff coming up in about 30 seconds. 9 engines in the first stage will shut down, and then the first and second stage will separate from each other, and then the upper stage will ignite. Shortly after that, you'll see a fairing separation, and the grid fins deploy on the first stage in preparation for its landing. Once again, Booster 1063 is flying for its 25th time. Okay, stand by for Miko.
Main engine cut off.
There it is.
Stage separation confirmed.
Good separation. Stand by for upper stage ignition.
MVAC ignition.
Very nice. Very nice. Grid fins deploying on the first stage. The nitrogen attitude control thrusters on the first stage now pulsing to steer that thing and get it oriented for the correct landing.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There's the fairing separation. Man, do they make this look easy. There's the fairing moving away from the second stage. Everything is looking good here. Will there be West Coast Starship? Yeah, maybe. At some point. There's Santa Barbara right there. There. Channel Islands. Santa Barbara's right there, and then Los Angeles should be coming up right over here. This is not polar Neonix. It looks like a 43 degree. Actually, no. It's definitely hugging the Channel Islands. So this is going southeast, meaning they could be just doing a southward trajectory out of Vandenberg. Vandenberg can hit quote-unquote equatorial if they fly out over the Pacific and then take a left over Baja California, heading south-southeast. There's Los Angeles right there. There's Long Beach. Cool. Yeah, see how it's hugging the coastline? It's staying with the coast instead of going away from it. Baja update. That's right. Hey, Emma, what's up? Dumb question. Why are there no stars in the background? Well, because the light from one of those stars is a lot closer than all the other ones, and it washes out the camera. Yeah. She's hugging the coast. There's Coronado Bay right there. If they flip to the other camera, we could see it. So Coronado Bay, San Diego, and Tijuana. Coming up on supersonic retro propulsion, there's Coronado Bay right there. Tijuana's right there. San Diego's there. Okay. Best part, the entry burn. Falcon 9 firing its stages to slow itself down and protect itself from re-entry heating.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
Supersonic retro propulsion. Once again, it's a big moment here. 1063 is flying for its 25th time here. That means it's done 25 entry burns. Hopefully 25 successful. I'll have that information for you here in a moment.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
All right, bring it on home. Is that the coast of Africa? No, it's Baja California, dude. This thing launched out of California heading south-southeast. So it's Mexico. That's Mexico over there. This is the
Safe,
Baja
FCS is safe.
Baja Peninsula. First stage coming down. Okay, Flavia. Jeez. Drone ship is underneath
Stage
some of
1
those
transonic.
clouds. Can't really see it. There's low-lying clouds on the Pacific today. Really windy out on the Pacific today. Look at that first stage move around.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Here comes the landing burn. Gridfin's steering this thing back over to the drone ship. Booster 1063 punching through the low-lying clouds
Stage
here.
2 terminal guidance.
Got a little bit of white caps on the ocean today. 1063 is over the drone ship.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
Got a good deploy on the landing legs. Gridfin's locking into place. Falcon 9's on thrust vector control as 1063 sets all four legs down. Directly dead
Landing
center
confirmed.
on Of Course I Still Love You. 25 missions. Not bad. Not bad at all. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. That's cool. Should be getting the call for second stage engine cutoff here. We're looking for a staging velocity around 27,300. Second stage engine cutoff. Staging velocity is 27,321. Good. Should get a call for nominal orbit.
Nominal park orbit insertion.
There you go. Took the words right out of my mouth. All right. That's a pretty good way to start space news, huh? Not bad. Not bad at all. Pretty good. Okay. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Let's see. I need a second to actually get all the space news links compiled here. Creeper sent me over a bunch from the weekend. We have to catch up on some there might be some Rule 8 stuff today, but don't worry, it's interesting. I won't bore you, I swear. So give me till the top of the hour here on YouTube and on Twitch. No VOD jogging. Give me to the top of the hour to collect all the links, and also I have to go to the and we'll start up Space News. I'll be back momentarily. The next launch actually is going to be at the end of Space News, which is the Project Kuiper launch, the KA-01 mission with Blue and ULA at 7. So we got about 2 hours for that. Got 2 hours for Space News. We'll start Space News with a rocket launch and end it with a rocket launch. Today's a good day. I'll be back here momentarily. I just got to compile the links, enjoy the tunes for a moment, and we'll begin in 7 minutes.
EJ screams like a galactic quest. Purple kings put to the test. Jedediah flew so high through the vast and starry sky. Hardcore move, no retreat. Failures never taste as sweet. Science lessons learned in flight. Journey on through endless night. Hardcore mode with no retreat. Failures never taste as sweet. Science lessons learned in flight. Journey on through endless night. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet did kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Orbit dreams won't be delayed. Lessons learned from missions made. Kerbal Time will forge a path to the stars beyond this path. For the stars, we aim so high. The poor jet did kiss goodbye. For science and purple light, we'll keep flying through the light. Rocket launch with hope so grand. EJ's got the master plan. Thrusters burn to reach the moon. In his eye you see the tune. Keep flying through the light.
Greatest ever, he's the man. EJ's got the winning plan. You will prevail, you will succeed. Daka storms the creed. Followers shout with all their might. EJ's vision shining bright. From the east to every coast, Bakalaka stuns they toast. Greatest ever, he's the man. AJ Scott, the winning plan. He will prevail, he will succeed. Bakalaka stuns the creed. Followers shout with all their might. AJ's vision shining bright. From the east to every coast. Bakalaka stun they toast. Greatest ever, he's the man. AJ Scott, the winning plan. He will prevail, he will succeed. Bakalaka stuns the creed. Monitors hum with electric light. AJ's bringing dark to bright. In the chat, they give their cheer. Bakalaka stun is near. It's near. It's creed. It's near. Bakalaka stuns the creed.
Okay, all the links should be compiled. I think I got everything that I need for now. I just didn't go to the bathroom yet, so I got to do that real quick. So enjoy one more tune and then we'll start, dude. One more here. Oh no! What? I clicked random. I swear. Whatever. I'll be right back.
When you're Kerbal stuck in space, so you're trying to get to the MSC race. One man has all the clues to help you solve your blues. EJ is his name, and rockets are his game. Bolder than any man, crazy creations are his plan. Cities, Kerbal, and workers, they are at his command. Oh God, that's all I can think of. Chat bothers him all day and night, but Eej always puts up a fight. Weird impressions, internet memes. EA is always so extreme. I'm not a good songwriter as you can. Turbo stuck in space. Well, you're trying to get to the MSC race. One man has all the clues to help you solve your blues. EJ's his name, and rockets are his game. Bolder than any man, crazy creations are his plan. Cities, Kerbal, and workers, they all are at his command. I don't know if that's all I can think of. Chat bothers him all day and night, but Eej always puts up a fight. Weird impressions, internet memes. EA's always so extreme. I'm not a good songwriter as you can.
Did I make it? I didn't make it back in time. That song is so short. Yeah. All I can think of. Chat bothers him all day and night.
But Eej always puts up a fight. Weird impressions, internet memes. DA's always so extreme. I'm not a good songwriter as you can.
As you can. I'm not a good songwriter as you can. All right, cool. All right, let's do this. Weirdly a good song. It gets stuck in your head, Nix. Be careful. All right, so we're going to start off Space News with not necessarily Space News, but a little bit of Tesla news. They have an update about their semi-truck factory, so I figured you guys probably would want to see that. That's kind of cool. All right, so let's jump into it. And I swear the rest is Space News. Let's go.
I'm Dan Priestley, and I lead the semi program here at Tesla. Welcome to the inside of the semi factory up here on the Gigafactory Nevada campus. We've been spending the last several months constructing this building, mostly with the walls, all of the pillars and columns that you see behind me, laying concrete, putting the roof on, and now it's time to populate the building. This factory is designed with an annual capacity of 50,000 units a year. So over the next several quarters, we're going to be
lot of
industrializing this
semi-trucks.
factory, installing the equipment, and preparing for high volume production. First units are set to be on the line by the end of this year, and we'll be ramping the factory throughout 2026. The Tesla Semi is designed to be directly swapped in for diesel trucks without having to compromise. This is an instrumental product in helping advance Tesla's mission. There's a lot of exciting stuff coming through the next year, not just here in the factory, but also on the product itself. Over the last few years, our pilot semis have been out in the world, operating in fleets such as Tesla's own internal operations, showcasing electric trucking is ready for scale.
Did he say 50,000 trucks? 50,000 trucks a year is no joke. Semis don't... 50,000 is good for a car a year. That's really good. Trucks don't get built at that cadence. That's crazy, dude. Yeah, man, that's a lot.
The semi factory up here on the Gigafactory Nevada campus. We've been spending the last several months constructing this building, mostly with the walls, all of the pillars and columns that you see behind me, laying concrete, putting the roof on, and now it's time to populate the building. This factory is designed with an annual capacity of 50,000.
Oh, sorry. I paused it a little too early.
Mostly with the walls, all of the pillars and columns that you see behind me, laying concrete, putting the roof on, and now it's time to populate the building. This factory is designed with an annual capacity of 50,000 units a year. So over the next...
Jeez. That's no joke. Yeah. Annual capacity, 50,000 a year. Oh, dudes. Wait. See that? See that van? See that van right there? Somebody lives in that van.
Units a year. So over the next several quarters, we're going to be industrializing this factory, installing the equipment,
That's
and preparing
cool.
for high volume production. First,
That's a big factory. Dude, how cool would it be to have all that space? If I ever win the lottery, you know, I wouldn't tell anybody, but there would be signs. I would just have this. I would just, like, this would be my streaming background one day. I'd be like, no, guys, it's a green screen. And then I would just walk away from the camera. Like, just walk away, like, down to the other end of the building. You could put so many rusty, broken down Fords in there. I know, man. Isn't it great? It would be awesome. How cool would it be when we were building the cars to disassemble them and put them in a completely exploded view? Like you have an overhead camera looking down at all the pieces of the car. Wouldn't that be sick? That's a crazy big building, dude. You guys know what I'm talking about? Hold on. Volkswagen back in the day put out this advertisement for the Mark I Golf, and it's an exploded view of the entire car. You use it to store aluminum tubes. That's right. Dude, I'd do that. That'd be awesome. About 175 trucks a day. That's crazy, dude. Oh, yeah, Kai Fox. Yeah, we should do that. Should have Friday Night Racing in that building, but for real. Yeah, man. With a building that big, you could have a car start at one end and start accelerate. You do a quarter mile in there. You do a quarter mile in that thing. Can you imagine going like 100 miles an hour indoors? That'd be sick. Freightliner sells between 80 and 100,000 Cascadias every year. Yeah, but over how many factories, Gaw? How many factories do they have? I don't think one can hit 50,000, and if they can, that's damn impressive. I just don't think that semi-trucks are made with that kind of capacity. Destruction currently happening at Starbase. Oh, okay. Anyway, that's cool that they're working on it. Hope they scale up. Hope everything goes well. Hey, Ron, what's going on, dude? Is the price known for the semi? I have no idea. Could have your own air museum in there. I could have my own air museum in there. Kippy, what's up? How you doing? All right, cool. So let's jump into space news. So Blue's been up to something in their tank cleaning and testing building. It looks like they may have crunched something in there. Yeah. Ryan had more pictures here from Julia. There's something got crunched in the TCAT building. Hopefully they meant to do that. Judging by the load simulator on it, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that this was intentional testing. Guys, yeah, they're doing load testing on something. But then we don't know because they don't tell us, you know, like 4 locations for Cascadia production. That's crazy, dude. And God, that's what I mean. If they do 80 to 100,000, that means each factory, each Freightliner semi-truck factory has a capacity of 25,000. Tesla's going for double that with one factory. That's pretty cool. Do I think they're going to hit that mark anytime soon? Probably not, but it'd be cool if they did. Be a lot cooler if you did. 2 en los Estados Unidos y 2 en Mexico. Okay. I'm just catching up over in YouTube chat. What's going on, guys, over there? All right, cool. So, yeah, they were testing something. We don't know what. Julia has some pictures, but, yeah, we still... they're doing some kind of clamping test in there, but we don't know what it is for sure. With this picture, it looks like Julia's logo is on the building, which is actually kind of cool. Same with that one. Not that a little speed tape can't fix. Once again, I think this was on purpose. Blue has done a lot of destructive testing inside of those buildings. Some of it may have been on purpose, some of it may have not been. But either way, they're up to something, which is still cool. Blue is currently on track for another new Glenn mission. I'd say sometime during the summer, judging by what I've seen. But we did see a Stage 2 static fire test on Complex 36 last week. So, I always say look for the hardware. Well, we have the second stage. Just wondering where the first stage is, where GS1 is. Maybe we'll see it pop out of the factory sooner rather than later. Like I said, they probably have 3 or 4 new Glens in the pipeline, if I had to guess, judging by the size of that factory and whatnot. Right? SBL is on, yes. Drenton, what's going on? So, yeah, we'll see. Okay, next bit of news here. Let's see what else we got. Lockheed Martin, good things come to those who wait. Recently, we conducted a 100-hour creep to burst test our inflatable soft goods technology with NASA Marshall, where our test unit pressurized to more than 4 times its designated pressure and exceeded its target, surviving for 4,177 hours. Nope, that music will get claimed. It exploded.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Dang. Hey, Creepshow, 9-month resub. Man, yeah, wait. Did that say 4,100? Wow. That's a lot of hours. It's almost 5 hours. What is this for? Inflatable space technology? Lockheed calls it inflatable soft goods technology. So yeah, pretty cool. 174 days. Man. That's deflating though. I'm sorry, this is just something I just want to keep watching. I'm wondering what the blurred out umbilicals are. There's something there they don't want us to see. Dang. Cool. Must have been fun to clean up. You know, this thing happened in like a split second. It was about that fast. This is just super slowed down. This thing probably happened about that quick. Like, it went from that to that. Probably about that fast. Don't put that in your garage. No, I won't. I won't. Anyway, super cool. Okay. Thank you, Internet. I'm pretty sure that's AI. Pretty sure that is a bot. The way it just, yeah. Bot detected. Anyway, I saw that. It caught my eye for a second. I was like, wait, what? All right. Anyway, let's move on to the next bit of news. So, Don Pettit did an interview a little bit earlier today, the 28th. And Marcia Smith has basically some cliff notes from it. So highlights. Don Pettit is ready to go back into space as soon as doctors give him an okay. John Glenn was 77 when he flew. Don Pettit's only 70. He says maybe he has 1 or 2 more space flights in him. This guy's a G. I love this guy. No need to terminate the ISS in 2030. It's a matter of dollars and willpower. What? Oh. Okay. B-52 is still overpowered after decades. Is still operable after decades. I said OP is operable. B-52 is still operable after decades, so we could maintain the ISS with maintenance. Humans are adaptable. No physiological reason not to go to Mars. Sweet. Fastest is physical, then why not? There you go. Don, I got one more in me. Send him back, dude. Let's go. Well, if we swap the pressurized modules, then sure. I mean, Aqualex, I'm kind of in disagreement about that, but there's an asterisk next to that. Terminate the ISS when we have a replacement, if that makes sense. If the replacement comes in 2027, get rid of it. If it comes in 2028, get rid of it. It's probably not. And until we get a replacement, don't get rid of it. It's pretty straightforward stuff. You know, like... It's one or the other. If ISS has replacement, then terminate. Not hard. Baron, hey, EJ, I got to work on SLS today. Holy heck, the vehicle's glorious. In case you didn't know, they were swapping engine 3. Yep. From 2063 to, which is a new engine, to 2061, which is flight proven. Reason to change is a suspected hydraulic leak on one of the bearings in the power pack. Uh-oh. Work is being done as we speak. I expect it to wrap up next week, although no pictures. Yep. If it came in 2028, they'd have to start developing the modules 4 years ago. Yeah. Point is, replace the ISS. Get rid of the ISS when you have a replacement. That's all. I do think the ISS is old. I think it does need to be replaced. It's 40 years old. It was never... Some of those modules were never designed to be up there for that long. And the further and further we get, the more difficult maintenance is going to be. We can do it. Not saying we can't. But yeah, that's good news from Don Pettit. I'm glad he's okay. Don Pettit did just come back on a Soyuz. He flew up on MS-26 with Alexei Ovchinin and Ivan Wagner. And they came back last week. Pretty good. They were relieved by the MS-27 crew, which has Johnny Kim on it. It's pretty cool. Forgive me, I forget the name of the dang old cosmonauts on there. Anyway, speaking of Soyuz, here's some Russian news here. The launch of the Spectre UV Space Observatory is now scheduled for 2031. The previous launch date was 2029. Originally, it was 1997. Speaking of hardware that's 40 years old, or at least going to be 40 years old. Huh. That's coming from Katya Pavlichenko. Okay. Yeah, yeah, it's supposed to be 1997. Yeah, you know, missed it by that much. Missed it by that much. Is that worth putting up there, or is it outdated? That looked like it was from Austin Powers. Can I paint this satellite gold? It's kinda my thing. How old was I in 1997? 9. Yeah, better late than never, I guess. Yeah, I was 9. Rotor's like, I was 27. Oh, there you go. All right. Anyway, let's see what the next bit We got this next bit's coming from Joe Teigmeyer. Let's see what he's up to. Current view of the SpaceX Starship Tower and flame trench construction at 39A. As far as I can tell, this looks to be about 6 months or so behind the work at Starbase on Tower 2, but much less activity at the moment. Most of the work is the emerging trench below ground level. Plans are to try and launch a Starship from here late this year, but I would not be surprised to see this push into 2026. I'm kind of with Joe on this one. So this is the KSEVC tour bus. You were 13, you built your first PC in 1997. I built my first PC Raiden in 2002, I think. So I was right behind you. Right behind you. A lot of construction mats getting staged here. And a porta potty. Is that porta potty ratchet strapped down to jersey barriers to make sure it doesn't blow away? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Yeah, that would be awful. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Yeah, that's probably smart. That would suck. That would suck so much now. The more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, no. No. Oh, look at that. Look at that lifted truck with low-profile tires on it. That's exactly what I want to do to my truck. I want to modify it to make it do truck things worse. It's great. I'm telling you about taking your vehicle and modifying it in such a way to make it worth a lot less. That's right, a lot less. There's a Corvette? Hey, all right. I was looking at that Super Duty. The Super Duty with the mud tires on it, boy. Yeah, I'll tell you what. How do you get on those buses? You have to sign up for the extended tour, Mustang. Challenger. Truck. Yeah, they are doing work on the chopsticks, though. Pretty good. Cool. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back. One moment. Titan's outside in the backyard. I heard him barking. Wanted to see what was that. He's barking at a bird or something. Yeah, they're making some good progress there. The draw works and stuff, there still needs to be a lot of work there. Very much seems like SpaceX is going full blast on this thing. Is there still an Atlas V later? Yeah, the Amazon Project Kuiper KA-01 mission is scheduled to go off in about an hour and a half. Cool. These are some great shots from Joe. Good stuff. There's the 39A service structure in the background. It looks so... The 39A fixed service structure looks so inadequate compared to the Starship Tower. It's like, oh, look at how flimsy. Look at how flimsy it is. This is a little flimsy thing. What happened to Starlink 11-9? It flew. Flew already, dude. You missed it. It flew about 45 minutes ago. Booster 1063 did complete its 25th mission. And a Starlink later? Oh. There is another Starlink later. Cool. Alright, so speaking of Starship, Harry Stranger posted this. Just over a year since it was first spotted outside of Hangar M, a new Umbra Space image shows Starship OLM, originally constructed for 39A, now being taken apart. Yep. Yeah, Dean. It's pretty crazy, man. 25 missions. Yeah, there's a Starlink at 10 that's after Project Kuiper. We're going to have to keep playing. We're going to have to find a game to play or something. It's rolling out of the 39A HIF? What is? Oh, the Starlink mission right now. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Yeah, see, right there. Also, I just want to point out that the synthetic aperture can actually see inside of Hangar M, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, right there is where you could see where it was. They started taking it apart. That was the donut-style OLM. It was built in here, guys, and then SpaceX moved it outside, and they left it there. What's this? Blue is building something at LC-12. This was a mostly flat concrete pad 6 months ago. Ooh. Interesting. It's too... There's not enough here to really figure out what that is. Either way, yep. That tells me that what Pad B at Boca Chica looks like is very much how 39A, the 39A Starship pad, is going to look like. So, yeah, interesting. Speaking of Boca Chica here, the Texas House a State Affairs Committee has. The Texas House of State Affairs Committee has just voted down a controversial bill that would give SpaceX control over beach closures. The bill is dead for now. Get off the screen. A bill that would give SpaceX officials power to close the access road leading to a popular South Texas beach was voted down by state lawmakers on the 28th. By a vote of 7 nays to 6 yays. Members of the Texas House State Affairs Committee narrowly voted down Senate Bill 2188, companion to State Rep. Janie Lopez's R. San Benito House Bill 4660. Without vote, the committee has declined to refer the bill to the House for a full vote. The identical bill would shift control of road closures from Cameron County officials to SpaceX and the mayor of the likely new city of Starbase. Has it been confirmed that Starbase Pad A will be refurbished like Pad B? I don't think it will, Dean, for what it's worth, but who knows? It has not been confirmed one way or the other. Currently, SpaceX officials must work in tandem with Cameron County's judge office to coordinate closures of Texas State Highway 4. Anytime it schedules a launch, test fire, or other qualified spaceflight activities. However, the highway serves as the sole access to Boca Chica Beach, the county-owned, undeveloped beach that lies between the Brownsville shipping channel and the mouth of the Rio Grande. The committee heard testimony on twin bills precisely 2 weeks ago. They argued that ceding access to the road closures would give the spacefaring company unmitigated ability to close the beloved beach to the public. There's still a chance that a retooled version of the bill could make its way to lawmakers before the legislation adjourns at the end of May. Interesting. Interesting. I mean, it's a public road, guys. Public road, public beach. I don't see why a company should have control of that, even if it is a company that I really like. Don't do that. I kind of agree with that. Don't do that. However, that does bring up a little bit of an interesting thing here. So, it was mentioned in the article, what happens if SpaceX incorporates? If Starbase incorporates and Starbase Texas gets put on the map, then who has control of it? Will it still go to the county? Will it go to the mayor of Starbase? It's an interesting question to ask. I'm not familiar enough with Texas state legislature to really understand what's going on here. But, yeah, poignant news nonetheless. Okay. They already have near total control of it. Just the problem is that they're capped on how many hours they shut down the road. If the bill would have passed, SpaceX would have had total control. Yep. See last regarding LC-12. There was a different thing in the replies. Okay, what's up? Blue uses LC-12 for the occasional testing of new next-generation hardware. Potentially a test article visible here. It's quite short, shorter than any single tank on the booster and shorter than the second stage. Maybe it was the, it's interesting, NG. Maybe it was the one that we saw in the TCAT. Yeah, Aqualex, maybe SpaceX should build a second road. I think they should. I thought about how useful it would be for SpaceX to basically extend Highway 4 into a two-lane road. Two-lane, two-way road. Because right now Highway 4 is basically just, it's two-lane, two-way. Like this. What I'm thinking is that. Two-lane, two ways this way, two-lane one way this way, two-lane one way this way. If they did that and made it kind of a boulevard-style thing, or at least a bigger highway road, SpaceX could shut down one side of that road for movements and stuff, and you could still maintain access to the beach. And then around Starbase, you just have the road go actually just around it. Just go around Starbase to the beach. You know? Here, I'll show you exactly what I mean. So, Outdoorsman, hey, how are you? I'm good. Sorry about leaving early Friday. My head was not cooperating. Hoping to watch for the rest of the day, but with me in the tornado path, I may have to leave. Dude, respect the stream. Look out for you first. I'll be here when you get back. Just as long as they don't make a strode. We got enough of those already. I knew you would say that. So, take a look. See how we got a two-lane road right here? I'm saying basically copy this and put it over here. Like what we would do in Workers, right? And make this an access road. Why did it connect? How did I make this shape? Have it go here, right? And then once you get to right here, the road can split, right? Put a roundabout right there. This last part right here might be a little bit of a problem, but I think that would be a good idea. just the way that that's set up, build another access road right here. Or if we do it like this, right? Have this road come in here. Like this, and just follow this road. Like that. Something like that. You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of cool. You know? That wouldn't be too hard to do. There'd be a little bit of an ecological impact right here because you're moving into the wetlands, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. Why don't you follow the road all the way then? Following the road all the way, there's a star factory in the way. Yeah, that's a big one. That has a lot to do with it, thousands. Yeah, there's that whole, you know, factory thing. There might be enough. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, dude, you might be onto something. It looks like there's enough of a right-of-way here to... I don't know if that's on purpose, dude, but there's definitely enough of a right-of-way to have two roads going through here, but you're screwing that parking completely. It looks like SpaceX intentionally left a lot of extra space. Look. I think they did that on purpose. Either that, I do know that there are electrical and drainage going through here. So, I mean, it looks like there is a wide enough provision for it, at least to a certain extent. What's another parking garage to SpaceX? Yeah, exactly. There's highway. We did, Das and Jack did a flame trench from right there one time. Yeah, it looks like you probably could get away with it. What do we got? Widening State Highway 4 was proposed by SpaceX on March 10th. Public meeting scheduled. Yeah, that's definitely what they're doing. TDOT proposal to widen Highway 4 from east of the Brownsville city limits to SpaceX is the subject of a virtual planning meeting at 5 p.m. on the 26th. Planning would widen State Highway 4 from 2,700 feet east of Oklahoma Avenue to Joanna Street, from 2 lanes to a 4-lane divided roadway. Yep. New road featured 2 12-foot wide travel lanes, an 8-foot wide shoulder in both directions, and flush paved median 4 to 12 feet in width separating opposing traffic. Yep. Yeah, that's the other reason why I made the access road go around, so there's no crossover. You could always use the right side of the road. Yeah, there's a launch pad in the way at that point, dude. That's what I mean. At some point, Thousand, you're going to have to loop around either the launch site or loop around Starbase. I just chose loop around Starbase. It was just, yeah. I mean, see what I mean? If you put it on the other side here, there's a launch pad in the way. Now, personally, the other reason why I particularly chose to go over here is because there's more terra firma this way. Building on this sucks. You're not building on that. This is an estuary. You don't want to build on this. It's swamp. It's just deserty swamp. The areas that's green up in here, you can build on. Those are good to build on. Like, if you notice, the road stays on most of that green stuff and avoids the estuary, desert, swampy poopiness. The only place where that access road would have a real big problem, right, is right here. Because, once again, you're going over the desert, swampy poopiness. You don't want to do that. Building over this is a pain in the butt. Because you have to dig down. You have to dig down to fill, right? Scrape the topsoil. You're probably scraping 20 feet of topsoil at that point, easily. That's just a guess. And then you'd have to fill it in. And yeah. Mott Scanley, what's up, buddy? What about a tunnel? What about a tunnel? Desert swampy poopiness is my evening after Taco Bell. Oh, yeah? Yeah, all right. It's good to know, man. Anyway, let's get a live shot at Starbase here. Let's see what's up. See if there's anything going on. Highway 4 is one of the worst places to drive on, and I drove around in Detroit and Rhode Island. My car did not survive the trip. I know, I've been there. I fixed Jack's Land Rover after driving on it, Baron, remember? See that? Guys, hold up, hold up. See that van? Hold up. Did you see it? See that van? Somebody lives in that van. Need it on OnlyVans. We do need it on OnlyVans. Down by the river? Yeah, of course. They're by the Rio Grande. Yes, some people do live in a van down by the river. Highway 4, you did not drive on Rostov Volgodonsk Road in Russia. You wish you'd never have to experience that. Yeah, no, hard pass. Highway 4 sucks, but yeah, it's probably not as bad as a road in Russia. Do we got the latest aerial picture of the trench? Oh. Bro. That. This is an RGV aerial picture, dudes. Oh. Dude, they cut the pipes flush. Oh, you have no idea how happy that makes me. Look, see all the pipes at the very bottom of the bucket? They're all cut flush. That's what they looked like before. It was driving me up the wall. Spicy water slide. Dude, what a beast. Beast mode. There's someone that modded the lever crane in that picture. The lever crane into flight sim. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Look, in this RGV picture, you could see the 4 launch pegs. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There you go. And it looks like they got more of those pipes. They started to hook up more of those pipes. Why the structure on the left side of this pic out of the loop a bit? So that's where your fuel line and oxidizer line comes in, amongst other things. Awesome. Yeah, that's what this is about, dude. It's housing your commodities. See the lines? Fuel and oxidizer lines actually go around the pad, and they come in here. Over here is waterside stuff. It's crazy, because if you zoom out a little bit... we can't see from this picture. Maybe RGV has a better one. Hold on. Yeah. See, the water line... So the water system is over here, and believe it or not, the fuel and oxidizer lines go underneath the water farm, which is pretty crazy. They go that way. But yeah, dude, look at that. Now that's a flame bucket. Man. Looks like all the concrete is really, really getting cast. It's really starting to look good. Yeah. I theorized that was a leveling beam, Dean, but I don't... Who said that? Darkru, not Dean. Sorry. I'm surprised RGV hasn't asked you to commentate. If RGV wanted me to, I absolutely would, but I don't know. I've never bothered to ask. What's Space Engineer saying? Check out these lines being prepped for welding on the pad deck. These will be the 2 quick disconnect units. Notice how, especially the top one, they intersect with the sides of the deck, extending beyond them to an unknown extent. This means they will have to weld over the gap between the pad deck and the actual launch mount, meaning the entire edge will be welded down. Still a fixed launch mount. Oh, screw this guy. Screw you, space engineer. Shut up, man. I'm on Team Mobile Launcher, okay? I'm on Team Mobile Launcher, Vanta, okay? I'm with Zach. Zach's my boy. I'm with Zach. I don't hate Space Engineer either. I think Space Engineer is awesome too. But I'm on Team Removable Launch Pad, okay? I'm on Team Removable Launch Pad. Okay, no bias at all. You shut your mouth. You shut your filthy mouth. The new pad looks so much better. It looks pretty sick, dude. It's pretty cool. That's right, it goes in the square hole. I don't know. Then again, Space Engineer might be right. It's very interesting here from these pictures, you know, seeing the cutouts here. It's a very interesting clock position for those, but I would say serviceable, guys. I think, okay, you really want my honest opinion. I don't think this thing will be, like, removed on a quick basis. If you want my honest to God opinion, this probably is implemented this way for a couple of reasons. It's probably implemented in such a way that if SpaceX needs to upgrade something, it's not going to be that hard to upgrade this thing. You can take it off and upgrade it if you really need to. Consider it to be, give me one sec. Let me get a research picture. So on Falcon, there's something called a reaction frame, okay? Let me go through my Falcon 9 pictures. That thing. This is the reaction frame. Okay? In this thing, the RF, this is a Photoshop picture from back in the day. I think Ian Photoshopped this back in the day. This is the reaction frame for Falcon Heavy, right? It's reconfigurable, believe it or not. You can configure it for Falcon 9 or Falcon Heavy. There it is. There it is for Falcon Heavy. See this piece right here? This piece is not easily removable hardware, but it can be removed. How do I know? Well, SpaceX, when they decided to go forward with Falcon Heavy way back in the day, all right, they had to redo their reaction frames. They had to remake this. They had to redesign it to better withstand Falcon Heavy because Falcon Heavy turned out to be a chonker of a vehicle. And they actually ended up having to incorporate these things right here. See those? Those are compression bridges. That's there. It's basically a truss that connects one side of the RF to the other, and it holds up Falcon Heavy. Because yeah, holding up Falcon Heavy, turns out it's heavy. It's right in the name. So see the frame back there? That's actually an older frame. This is Slick 4 at Vandenberg. That's an older frame. That frame at Vandenberg was removed, and it was reconfigured. Oh, that's such a sweet picture. You got a Falcon 9 launching. You got a Falcon 9 here with Crew Dragon, and you have SLS. All in the same shot, baby. Pretty good. And I do believe there was an Atlas inside of the VIF at that point, too. So I can actually show you, if we want to go on a little tour here, Lompoc. So check this out. I know that SpaceX, we know for a fact that SpaceX redesigned the reaction frames. The reason is because if we go down in here, you can see the original reaction. You can see, well, you see the upgraded reaction frame for Falcon Heavy right there, right? Now let's go timelining this. Ready? Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Little further. A little further. Up, there's the old one. See it? SpaceX took the old one off and scrapped it right there. And they replaced it with a new reaction frame. SpaceX has done this before. See what I'm talking about? That was on the dang thing. Actually, yeah, there you go. There's the frame right there. They took it off and they retooled it and they threw the old one out in a field. I'm trying to see where it ended up, but I know they took it off. They put it somewhere. It's around here somewhere. I'm pretty sure maybe they scrapped it. Yeah, see, this is in 2016. So Falcon was flying from here for some time. That's it right there next to the crane. See the old one? That's the old one. And then they put a new one on there that holds up Falcon Heavy. They did that for DoD missions. I do have some really cool pictures. See, there's the frame. That's the new frame. But now that's at 39A. The one that they made at Vandenberg is a copy of the one at 39A, but it's using a different transporter erector. Who do you think has more launches, SpaceX or NASA? I don't know. It's hard to say without crunching some numbers. But I do think this pad, it's not going to be like removable like a mobile launcher like at 39A or B, but it's built in a way that it could be modified. You don't want to run into the same problem that you had at Pad A at Boca Chica, where you have that donut, and if you want to make a modification to it, you can't take it off. You have to do all the modifications there. That led to all this wonky gantry equipment that they used to, like, remember when SpaceX had the dance floor? Like, they would lift the thing up and they would put it underneath Pad A, and it had fold out shelves like a folding table. And that's how they did the maintenance, and they had to put up all the scaffolding. They're trying to avoid that. If you want a new OLM, just go make another one. And then you could take this thing off pretty easily and put a new one on. This is designed to be modular, I'm pretty sure. It's future-proofing. It's not a totally removable thing. Like, it's not going to be a removable mobile launcher. Pad B looks more mature to you. No doubt, Mott. No doubt. Absolutely. You haven't seen the dance floor in some time. It's sitting by Starhopper. I saw it a month ago. Upgradable versus hot swap. Bingo. It looks like it will simply be bolted down as opposed to welded to the legs. Exactly. You can take it apart. We've seen Blue do that with their pad too. I have a theory that Slick 36 is, or Complex 36, they want to call it LC 36. It's been called Slick 36 for half a century. I have a theory that LC 36 is designed in the same way. They have a New Glenn's kind of launch mount and frame can be removed. They can be removed. We already know the reaction frame can be removed because they fired a second stage from LC-36. I have no reason to believe that their table wouldn't be removable as well for a bigger rocket. Right? In case you need to upgrade something. That's just good engineering, man. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with, you know, GSE and stuff and how this all kind of goes together. Any predictions on a Flight 9 launch? I don't see why they wouldn't get it. Are there any signs from a slide-out platform underneath Pad B? Seems similar to what they have at Massey's. I don't see any indication of that here at all. So if they did have some type of sliding platform, it would probably end up being like right around here, and it would probably... But I don't know. Any predictions on Flight 9 launch? Oh, date. At this point, I'd probably guess somewhere in here. I originally thought it would be this week, but yeah, I always err on the side of optimism. The only sad part... What's sad, Rudy? Only sad part is that we're not going to be able to play with the spin starters for the outer quick disconnect. We make mini tornadoes with them. I've seen that, Rudy. I've seen the little vortex that comes out the top of the OLM. Yeah, it's pretty cool, man. This is, dude, this is some epic freaking engineering, dude. That's pretty sick. It's awesome. Look at that thing. Speaking of GSE, Firefly. Yeah, Firefly ran into some problems, dudes. Problems with GSE. It happens, guys. I think they have a 24-hour scrub. Yep. 24-hour scrub, so it's scheduled same time tomorrow. These pictures from RGB are so sick, dude. They're so good. Cool. All right. Okay, let me move Starbase Live up there. So the last thing here, guys, I don't know. I don't know if I want to read this right now. But we still got an hour till the Kuiper launch. But so Eric Berger posted this interesting reading from NASA Administrator nominee Jared Isaacman in his responses to questions from U.S. senators. So we did see his confirmation meeting. Oh, hello. Hold up one second. Watch right here. Oh! Oh! Was that supposed to happen, or? Oh, the excavator's pulling on it. Yeah, that was supposed to happen. Dude, that sounds so awful. That sounds so bad. See, the excavator is attached to that glass pane on a wire. Oh, I hate that noise. I hate that noise. Frick that glass pane. Not the other one. Frick that one, dude. Dude, I hate that noise so much. Mr. Excavator just doing his thing. Can't wait to see the news. Oh yeah, SpaceX building falling apart. Yeah, right. Can't you reuse that glass? It all needs to be shattered. Well, the operator of the excavator disagrees with you. Diesel, hear that? What is this? I had some Rule 8 stuff to share, but I'm kind of aborting. Not gonna lie. Found this interesting LinkedIn post. Developing a new turbo pump from scratch for a crucial new system that will enable Starship missions beyond low Earth orbit, including the Moon and Mars. Sunad Guraj. Not gonna work here anymore. I'm absolutely sure they're developing a new turbo pump from scratch for a crucial new system that will enable Starship missions beyond low Earth orbit, including the Moon and Mars. To me, this is the most exciting project at SpaceX right now, and I can't be contributing. The questionnaires are very good, not very political compared to what you think. Only real thing is there's a lot of questions about Elon. Okay. Naga now probably not joining the team anymore. Yep. Yeah, he probably. Serious, probably guy probably shouldn't have said that. Not good. Not gonna work here anymore. Am I a horrible person for making that joke? It's in context and. I don't know. A new turbo pump. Interesting. Maybe it's for those little motors higher up on the ship. Possible. Office space is great. Samir, not gonna work here anymore. Gone. Like, I hope the kid learned, dude. Yeah, you can't. In this industry, guys, you can't talk about stuff like that. Don't do that. Just shut up. I'm engineering for SpaceX, and I'm really happy to be here. That's it. Those should be pressure fed. NSF Discord people said they think it's an APU. Possible. IMO, it's a new cryo cooler design that SpaceX is working on, rumored to be a zero boil-off design. ULA had a fun program using a piston engine to repressurize the system. I thought that was a good idea for what it's worth. Sadly, it was killed due to Rule 8. It was killed because there was no market for it. Eric Berger said it was killed because of Rule 8. It was killed because there's no market. That's Tory Bruno's own words, guys. At least I'm pretty sure. Tanker ship and HLS will need a cryo cooler and vaporizer pump to keep the tanks pressurized minimum. Yeah. You got to keep pressure up, guys. Yeah. In order, the best way to prevent boil off is keeping pressure up inside of the tanks. You keep the pressure up inside of the tanks while keeping them cool. Yeah, you'll be all right. I say what I want, but this isn't my name. I got a career and a family to protect. Yep. One clickbait channel came up in my mind. SpaceX engineer just declared new turbo pump. Jeff Bezos humiliated. I hate those channels so much, dude. That's what I was thinking too. I doubt they're going to start redoing the Raptor turbo pumps from scratch. Yeah, I don't... Dude, even cryocooler aside, I didn't think that was something for... That excavator, man. It's going to town. Oh, he's using the thumb. That's awesome. I love excavators. I got to drive one. I got to operate one, and it made me really happy. Yeah, even, you know... Notwithstanding, I don't think it's a Raptor replacement or something. It's probably some type of auxiliary engine or whatever. Not really, from the dude who built it. It's George Sowers, yeah. Dude, I'm not sure. I don't think it went down like that, but that's just my opinion, I guess. I'm just watching this dude go to town with the thumb. Mustang. Dude, how are you gonna scoop up glass with an excavator? Oh, he put the thumb in. See this little thing on the end of the excavator? It's called a thumb. You can use the excavator to grab stuff. I was using it to grab tree stumps and logs. Bro, that's glass. You're using an excavator to scoop up glass. Why not? Yes, let's eat soup with a fork. Aqualex, that's a great idea. He's grabbing the framing. No, he's not. No, he's not, because he called Mr. Bobcat in right there. See that? Look at the skid steer. Mr. Bobcat. He's going to come in there. He's going to do his job. See, Mr. Excavator's walking away in shame. In shame! What? Oh, maybe I'm just jelly and I want an excavator. Okay. Chad, fill me in. What happened to the window? They're disassembling that part of Starbase so they can build the Gigabay. That's what's going on. So, going back over to this stuff over here. So these are more questions from U.S. senators. Trey, is there anything in particular in here? I don't want to go through this stuff on stream. Also this. Team at SpaceX are hiring. We're looking for engineers to join our life support and thermal control system team. You take part in developing hardware that bring humanity back to the moon and Mars. Fans, pop, accumulators, filters. Cool. The future of SLS is a big thing. Let you go get it. Give me a specific thing, dude, because I don't want to read through all this. There's too much. There's too many landmines in here. I don't want to read another question like what the senator from my state asked the other day and made a fool of himself. I don't want to do that. Finally, electricity and internet in the Iberian Peninsula. You're back. All right. Yep, we're back. All right, we are so back. Backening level. It's no backening level. We're. See last, the excavator has disgraced his ancestors. Also after Lift Fund Excavator Fund. Maybe. I know there was a Shift 4 related thing about a prior arrest and some lawsuits. Really? It's crazy. It's pretty crazy how many McMaster parts have gone into SpaceX Starship so far. Dude, McMaster car is amazing, and I'm not gonna pretend like it isn't. The highs will be the highs will be fived and the weirs will be backed. Oh boy. That was an interesting stream. It was. Anyway, I'm waiting on some Rule 8 stuff here. We're back. McMaster's so good, you use so many of their parts, we will land on Mars and find a distribution center there. My friends who worked at SpaceX says people at McMaster Car have office parties every time he submits an order. Oh dear. There's this loud video. What is that? Hyperion B1. Oh, neat. That's cool. It looks like they got a good couple seconds of ignition there. What did your senator say that was so stupid? He asked about whether Elon had anything to do with recommending Isaacman to the president for a NASA administrator, if he was with him when he decided that he should be NASA administrator. I don't really particularly mind that line of questioning. It's important to know. I don't like that he kept interrupting. That's what pissed me off. That's what made me very, like, embarrassed. He just kept interrupting Rook every time he tried to say something. And I don't like that kind of decorum, or lack of thereof, from one of my state representatives. I really don't appreciate that. So, yeah, that's what pissed me off. I think he made a fool of himself, to be honest with you. Yeah. Trey, question 6A on the Republican one is a good thing. Trying to find the other one. Okay. Yeah, I don't really appreciate that kind of like that way you carry yourself. Like you're making people from our state look stupid doing that. And I don't appreciate it even more, Gujar, because Massachusetts contributes a lot to the space program. A lot. Other senators were asking about, NASA facilities in my, NASA facility in my state. Are you going to get rid of that? Are you going to get rid of that? No, not my guy. He doesn't care about that. He cares about getting his sound clip. I find that very annoying. Like, dude, there's the Draper Lab at MIT. There is all kinds of NASA facilities in Massachusetts. And you're not gonna inquire about those. You're just gonna sit there and keep interrupting him. Oh, all right. It's not like this is a major recruitment hub for the entire aerospace industry or anything, right? Like, nope. You're not gonna ask about that. Why would we ask about that? That would be pertinent to the discussion. Yeah, Lincoln Labs. I drove by Lincoln Labs the other day, Flask. But no, I don't particularly mind that line of questioning, but no, you got to sit up there, you got to interrupt, you got to ask about everything that has to, nothing that has to do with your state. Like, it pissed me off. It really made me upset. But politicians pissing people off is not anything new, I don't think. So, yeah, you asked, so. Rick pissed me off because he didn't actually answer the question of whether Elon was in the room with him or not. Yeah, I don't know why he wouldn't answer it. It's some weird stuff going on there, but yeah. Yeah, he wanted a soundbite instead of actually trying to understand what went down, which just... Yeah, once again, guys, like, I wouldn't chime in, but he's a representative from my state. He's a senator from my state. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Just personally. Hot off the press, satellite image of 39A from Harry. Anyway, I'm not trying to bring anybody down. It's just, that was very much my personal thing with a senator from my state. Like, yeah, it's annoying. All right, what are these new pictures from Harry? I mean, he repeatedly asked the question. Here we go. Here we go, King. I've made this very clear, but you're not listening. So, one, I don't want to talk about this anymore, first and foremost. Two, interrupting somebody for their answer is very... As somebody that represents my state, I don't appreciate that. Carry yourself with some goddamn decorum on the Senate floor. How about that? It's the United States Senate, all right? This isn't some town hall... like local community meeting that you're going to post about on Facebook. It's United States Senate, all right? Carry yourself with some class, for fuck's sake. How about that? I'm done talking about it. I'm timing myself out. Look at these pictures of 39A. Okay, timeout over. Let's go. So this is 39A. This goes with those pictures from Joel Teigmeyer. This is Harry Stranger got these pictures from satellite here. Dude, they've already started digging out that trench over there. That's pretty crazy to me, man. Yeah, they're definitely making some progress, but this has still got a ways to go. SpaceX says they want to do a launch from here this year, so clock's ticking, dudes. Republican question 6A. Okay, all right. 6A. What do you envision as the long-term way to get to and from the moon and Mars? All right, let's see what we got. As I stated during the hearing, SLS is the current plan and the fastest way to send American astronauts back to the moon ahead of our geopolitical rivals. So this is Rook answering this question. And this is a race we can't risk losing. Well, once our initial lunar objectives have been met, I believe NASA should transition from competing with industry and focus again on what no other agency or organization is capable of accomplishing. The commercial launch market is more capable than ever, with numerous American providers investing in heavy lift capabilities. NASA should take advantage of that competition and eventually refocus its world-class talent and infrastructure on what no one else is doing, developing the next generation of exploration. Brakes are off. Developing the next generation of exploration technologies. That includes nuclear-powered spacecraft, which I believe represent the logical next step for long-duration deep space missions beyond Mars. How different is the soil for 39A versus Starbase? 39A is built on fill, on clean fill. So you should be able to scrape the topsoil off and dig down a good ways before you hit the water table, but it's going to have to be engineered in a very similar manner, Black Eagle. Interesting. I think that NASA should transition with industry. Competing with industry? They're not competing with industry. What are you talking about? I've seen it outdoors, and yeah. I think he's saying NASA shouldn't do their own rocket heavy lifting. Yeah, but I would argue, Kate, that SLS is not competing with commercial industry. And that it should never compete with commercial industry. For the same reason why, I don't know, a mail van or a post van is not a regular vehicle that you can just buy and drive on the road. Because what the government needs is not necessarily what, the commercial market needs, right? A Grumman LLV, as cool as those things are, right? A Grumman LLV is not a good commuter vehicle. Yeah, he's inferring that SLS can be replaced by Starship. Bob, I will say, the only way where that makes sense is building off of what I was just saying a second ago. The only place where that actually makes sense is if Starship is an quote-unquote off-the-shelf thing. If, for instance, okay, how many F-150s does the government buy? They buy tons of them. Right? That would be the only way that makes sense. But would an F-150 make a good mail van? No, arguably a specialized thing would be a good mail van like the NGLV, whatever that piece of crap is, and the LLV. See what I'm saying? It's a freaking fly in here. We got flies. Oh, I got him. You frick nerd. But won't SLS inevitably have to compete with commercial for cargo and science payloads? Why would it? Erudite. Why would you want to do that? Show the body. It was a little fruit fly, dude. Another beginner rocket question. Where is the pressurant fluid gas usually stored? Helium tanks, COPVs, inside of other tanks. Civola. How much is needed? 1-to-1 with fuel? No, it's not 1-to-1 with fuel because one's a gas and the other one's liquid. Yeah, why would SLS isn't about making profit, so why would it be compared with vehicles that are? EJ turned his related excitement into a fly termination machine. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to get annoyed. I just don't. You know, I don't like it when people do that. It really, really, really makes me annoyed. Great. You got your sound clip posted on. Oh, yeah. Posted on X. Great. Oh, yeah. You're so good at what you do. Posting it on X is somewhat ironic, I know. So freaking annoying, dude. Hey, Methane, what's going on? Can't wait to watch some launches this evening. Yeah, we're about half hour out from the KA-01 mission. I'm hyped. I want to see an Atlas fly. We already saw Falcon fly today. We'll see an Atlas and then maybe another Falcon after that. It'd be great. But guys, I don't think that SLS is not a commercial launch vehicle. You know, like that's the reality of the situation. It's not a commercial launch vehicle. Could it be? Sure. If you want to open up that can of worms, sure. And if you want to open up that can of worms, it's a terrible commercial launch vehicle. But I don't think it's a commercial launch vehicle. That's like saying the Saturn V is a commercial launch vehicle. It's not. It was built for purpose. It was built for a certain mission, which is why SLS needs to be retooled for that certain mission, and then it'll be great. You know, nobody would be complaining right now about the prices or cost of a Saturn V if we had it and it was flying people to the moon on a routine basis. Nobody would care. Nobody would be like, oh, we got to replace it with commercial. No, you would. No. People would not be saying that, right? Cantwell's SLS questions are good, and Republican question 5 is great good. You give up. What do you give up, Trey? What are you giving up? Me reading your comments? You know, managing 2 chats with a lot of people in it? Not being able to read every particular thing that you say? Because I have like 3 other paragraphs in the other chat? What do you give up on? Tell me. Let me know, please. So I can be better at what I'm doing. Please. Come on. Type it out. Okay, cool. Just make sure we're on the same page there. If only SLS had a solid purpose at the start of the program. Yeah, that would have been a good idea. It's almost like the thing that it replaced had a solid plan, King, and we didn't do that. Okay, so Cantwell's questions are good too. That's over here. Question. I know you said you'd like to work on the Moon and Mars missions in parallel and believe it can be done with NASA's current budget. However, if there is enough funding for only a mission to the Moon or Mars, which will you prioritize? Given existing law, I would prioritize the Artemis program. That said, I believe pursuing both lunar and Martian objectives in parallel is not inherently cost prohibitive. I agree with that. I'm good, Charles. How are you? There's meaningful hardware commonality across the existing Artemis human landing system providers. For instance, both contractors are required to validate reusable heavy lift launch capabilities. Technology is essential for transporting mass beyond low Earth orbit, whether toward the Moon or Mars. Historically, NASA managed multiple complex programs simultaneously, Mercury, Gemini, and Apollo, in an era with far less technological capability than we possess today. More than 6 decades later, with the advances in industry and innovation, I believe the world's premier space agency should be capable of executing multiple major initiatives at a time. I agree with that. I very much agree with that. No, the bolded SLS section. Oh.
What's in the news? No pupper.
No pupper cam?
No pupper
I
cam,
got
I'm
pupper.
sorry.
I got pupper cam ready. Nothing.
I forgot that I necessitate pupper cam now.
Nothing. What's up with you?
Nothing. What's this fun stuff? Senate Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation nomination hearing. Democratic questions for the record. Didn't this already happen?
These are there. I guess so, but there was like more questions.
Oh yeah, they can support they can enter written ones. Okay.
Yep. The bolded SLS section.
You're a bolded SLS section.
Do you see any bold SLS section here?
I just assume that you have to keep scrolling. HLS space. Oh.
Okay. Previously called SLS and outrageously expensive and suggested it was a result of the federal government being lousy at capital allocation. Question 1. Yes or no? Do you support continued Artemis missions with SLS? Yes. As I mentioned during the hearing, the SLS is part of the current plan and represents the fastest path to returning American astronauts to the Moon. That said, the program has significant challenges. Even NASA's Inspector General has issued multiple reports critical of the SLS program's cost and schedule performance. Question 2. Yes or no? Do you plan to cancel SLS if confirmed? Answer. No. As I stated in the hearing, SLS is the current plan and the fastest means of sending American astronauts to the Moon ahead of our geopolitical rivals. As I emphasized during the hearing, this is a race that the United States can't afford to lose. Once those obligations have been met, I believe NASA should transition away from competing with the commercial sector and instead focus its world-class talent and infrastructure on developing the next generation of exploration technologies, including nuclear spaceships, as a logical step. He seems to insist that SLS is competing with commercial for some reason, which I don't really understand.
Maybe he knows something you don't know?
I would be really, really interested in what that is. How are you?
I'm good.
You good?
Yeah, I'm good. I was just coming to say hi. Hey, guess what? I'm really proud of our dog.
You're really proud of our dog? Why?
So he's been outside all day, and I've been like, oh man, like I bet you he's thirsty. I should get him some water, right? But he realized that he could go downstairs and then upstairs to the water bowl.
He's a smart one.
He's
He's
a
got
smart
four. He's got 4 brain cells.
He used all of them to figure that out.
Yep. Oh no, 58-month resub. Just because Brimo's here. All right,
thanks.
cool.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All right.
Methane subcooler. This is to help replenish the automatic transmission fluid for the Coronet. I learned so much from your streams. How to rock it and how to work on cars. Yeah, my pleasure, man.
Oops, sorry about my tummy.
Terms of service. Terms of service.
No.
Terms of service. Toss. Monka toss.
Discovery, go and throttle up.
Monka toss. They're gonna shut us off. Look, they shut us off. Serious, I'll add to the Brimo party. All right, cool. 76 month. Thank you.
Thank you guys again for all the birthday stuff the other day. That was really nice of you, and I was not doing that on purpose at all. So thank you.
Terms of service. Have you seen what's on Twitch these days? No, and I prefer not to. Nope.
All right, well, I'll leave you alone. I just want to come say hi.
Is your friend gone?
Yeah.
Cool.
You prefer TNG over TOS? Fair.
The more I rewatch TOS, the more I like it more.
I think I prefer the one I watched the most recently, to be honest with you. Like, I don't have a preference for TNG over TOS or
Yeah.
vice versa. It's just what have I watched most recently. I want to watch... Chat, don't crucify me. I really want to rewatch the recent movies, because those are fun.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah.
Lens flares.
It got me into Star Trek, so. I never watched DS9.
Everybody loves Deep Space Nine, but
I feel like... So, I tried to watch it right after I did Next Generation. And I feel like going from episodic to series was too much of a change. I wonder if we watched it now, if we would like it.
Yeah, maybe. We'll take a look. DS9 blows. That's what I'm saying, man. I watched it. I'm just like... Off-topic question. Do you like Urbex? I watch Urbex videos from time to time. Black Eagle, yeah.
It's like saying 789 got you into Star Wars. Dude, like... Can't...
That's messed up. That is messed up, man. What the hell's the matter with you? Did you watch Daga? No, I didn't get to.
No, he was too busy helping me with house stuff. Did he tell you about his bed?
No,
Oh, you didn't tell him about your bed?
I did not tell them about the bed. I hot rodded our furniture. That's all you need to know.
He hot rodded it pretty dopely, though.
We found a bed frame that has like drawers underneath it that you can pull out from underneath the bed for storing things. And we have an electric bed frame that has, you know, it has this cool electric servo that you can recline and, you know, bring up and recline the bed, right? And it didn't work with the drawers. So I reconfigured both of those things to work together by sectioning some drawers and modifying the frame to work with the electric unit. So now we have an awesome bed frame that has an electric system, electric recliner, like built into it. It's pretty sick. Cool. I hot rodded furniture. That's what I did over the weekend.
Wasn't this an episode of Home Improvement? No, my life is an episode of Home Improvement, Gaw. I don't know if you've heard me say that before, but...
Okay, outdoors room. Nice. So yeah, now we have this awesome bed that has like drawers that fold out, that come out on the front, right? And it can also go up and down.
Yeah.
I think he sees it as competing with commercial because if SLS didn't exist, NASA would have to pay for launches on the available commercial heavy problem. That's what I'm saying, dude. Yeah. What is it competing with? Why would you say that? What is it competing with? Is it competing with Starship? It's not competing with Starship.
All right, I'm going to go watch more Supernatural. I love you.
Love you too.
What was that face?
More Supernatural.
Yeah. What about it?
Yeah, what about it, chat? Why are you giving that face, chat?
I've only watched 13 seasons in a month. That's fine. Actually, no. I watched... Wait, if it's 4 to 13 is what? 9 seasons?
9. You made a low rider bed? I made a bed with an adjustable ride height. Yes, that's exactly what we did. We did watch Andor. We're caught up.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Supernatural has the best soundtrack. So, true story. The other day, I had to put on... EJ asked me to put the music on my Spotify.
Some of our cars don't have radios that work.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna go find EJ's like Spotify channel. It wasn't on my Spotify page, and so I was like, crap, I don't know what to do. So I started typing Dean Winchester into my Spotify search, and I came up with a playlist that was a Dean Winchester soundtrack that doesn't suck, and I just played that, and EJ liked the songs. So it's like I didn't know how else to look. Like that was the vibe I was like I knew that he wants.
All right.
Quit acting like you haven't watched it.
Go watch more Supernatural. Okay. Go.
Love you.
Love you too.
You're my baby.
You gotta look at the camera before you come in and kiss me, huh? That's how that is. You gotta look at the camera. That's,
What are you talking
that's
about?
what you just did.
I didn't mean to.
Oh, all right.
I love you. Didn't you?
Oh, terms of service. Ah,
Bye, chat.
I'm gonna get cooties. She flipped me off.
I did.
Timeout. You're in timeout. I got timed out for cursing out a viewer a second ago. Hey, you're not supposed to say that. You're timed out. ULA is live. Oh, thank God. We don't have to do any more of this Rule 8 stuff. Yeah, just to sum it up, I don't know why Rook would say that SLS is competing with commercial, unless he had an axe to grind with getting rid of, SLS, which... I'm not sure I agree with that. But anyway, let's move over to Project Kuiper coverage here and go from there. You activated my trap card. Oh wait, you guys are too old. I'm too old to know Yu-Gi-Oh? Is this a good visualization of flame buckets? Oh. Okay, so Reddit, first of all. Yes. Yeah, that's... Water is nuts at absorbing heat, guys. Like, absolutely insane. Like, to the point where it's ridiculous that water exists in the first place. What are the pipes used for? They pump water through them. Or where they dissipate heat like a liquid cooling system in a computer. Liquid cooling system. And then just spray them into the bucket to get it to evaporate. Water sucks. Gatorade is better. What? Use it on the field. All right. Let's see. Project Kuiper. Yeah, here it is. Got it.
Stage, which drives the payload during
All
the
right,
second
here we go.
phase of its flight to its final orbital
Let's do this,
destination
mate.
in space. The payload fairing, or PLF, completes the rocket and provides the aerodynamic shape necessary for the climb to space. And as you can see on the upper stage in the PLF, we'll see the logos for Amazon, Atlas, ULA, as well as the American flag. So let's learn a little bit more about how ULA builds the Atlas V rocket.
The ULA Atlas V
Engineered
rocket.
in
Oh, sorry.
Centennial, Colorado, ULA's Atlas V rocket is built in Decatur, Alabama, and launched from Cape Canaveral, Florida. Once the rocket is manufactured, it travels to Cape Canaveral on ULA's cargo ship, known as Rocket Ship. After arriving in Florida, ULA's launch operations team begins assembling the rocket. Stacking begins with lifting the 107-foot Atlas booster, powered by an RD-180 engine, onto the mobile launch platform. For Amazon missions, 5 solid rocket boosters are attached to the sides of the first stage for additional
Discovery,
thrust
go
and
at throttle up.
liftoff. ULA's
Decatur, I hardly
ultra-thin
know her.
stainless
What?
steel Centaur upper stage, powered by an RL-10 engine, is then lifted into position.
No new
Lastly,
games right now,
the
Black
payload
Eagle.
fairing
I got enough stuff to
containing
do.
the spacecraft is lifted and mated to the Atlas V rocket. Once assembled, the countdown begins,
Hey, Episonic.
moving the rocket from the vertical integration facility to the launch pad. The trip to the pad is about 1/3 of a mile. Throughout the 20-minute trip, a payload van leads the move, providing communication with the spacecraft, followed by the ground van providing support to the rocket. The mobile launch platform supplies air conditioning, electrical, and propellant lines to the rocket. Track mobiles at the rear power the convoy, which includes an environmental control system providing air conditioning to the payload and rocket, as well as a backup generator. Atlas arrives at the pad for fueling and other final preparations, and once fueled, weighs nearly 1.3 million pounds and stands 205 feet tall.
Today's mission is just the start of ULA launches to deliver Amazon's Kuiper satellites to orbit. Let's learn more about Project Kuiper and what they've been doing to prepare for offering internet connectivity from space.
It all starts with a countdown. But a countdown to what exactly?
This has music that mutes the VOD in it. When we watched it before, it muted it. This is just them putting Kuiper together. It's pretty cool. Your boy Chatter Hill has some explaining to do. I don't understand what's to explain. Admit it. Let the ship get hit by a missile? What are you, out of your mind? How much do these rockets shrink when they are filled with cryogenic fuel? Not a lot, Trey. Couple, like an inch. It depends on the rocket, depends on the propellants, depends on what it's using. Not a lot, dude. But it is enough to take into account, though. Do the SRB gimbal, how does it do a gravity turn? The SRBs on this version of Atlas are fixed nozzle, Jones. They're fixed nozzle. The RD-180 has 8.5 degrees of gimbal between the two nozzles, so each nozzle can go out 8.5 degrees. That's more than enough to steer the vehicle.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Yeah, there's an extra SRB on one side. Isn't there a thrust imbalance? No. No, cheeseburger. No, she good. Once again, the vector range of the RD-180 can really compensate for it. And once again, the SRBs, these GEM60s, at least I think they're GM60s. Might be 63s. I think they're just 63s, not 63XLs. Their nozzles on the SRBs are canted out to point through the center of mass, so you use less thrust vector control to compensate. Oh, nice, Aldisert. There you go. Yeah, you can launch Atlas with 1 SRB, 2 SRBs, 3 SRBs, 4 SRBs, or 5 SRBs. It's actually pretty cool. Oh, great. You've been put on blast. Called you out, man. Does today's launch have any SRBs? Yeah, of course. 5 SRBs in the first stage. Yeah, this is them working on, this is Amazon's Project Kuiper satellites. Okay, cool. Now we can unmute it.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T-minus 4 minutes and holding. Following liftoff, viewers watching the launch from Florida and points north and east might be able to see the Atlas V in flight. To get a closer look at this visibility map, check out at ULA Launch on social media.
Very cool. Of course, everybody.
I'll be right back. I'm going to see if the skies are clear.
Right here close to the pad, but even those all up the east coast of the United States will be able to see that light streak across the sky with an evening launch like we have tonight. Taking another look at the launch pad, all 27 of those Kuiper satellites tucked nicely in the 77-foot payload fairing there of our Atlas V rocket.
And this Atlas V rocket is actually our 551 configuration, so it's a 5-meter
clear
payload
skies,
fairing,
dudes.
5 SRBs, and that's going to bring a lot of power and a lot of thrust to the rocket, allowing it to exit Earth's atmosphere and get to our orbital insertion in our low Earth orbit destination.
That's right, with all 5 solids and the RD-180, 2.7
Yep, we got clear skies.
Thrust at liftoff for this
Check it out.
largest Atlas V configuration.
No clouds up the East Coast.
Maximizing the
all right.
capacity to get as many satellites on orbit as we can.
So take a look, guys. See the SRBs? The SRB nozzles are pointed out. They're pointed through the center of mass of the vehicle. Or at least where the center of mass roughly will be during the first phase of ascent of flight. The RD-180's gimbal thrust vector control will be able to compensate for it. Yeah, but we got 3 SRBs on one side and 2 SRBs on the other.
Violating launch constraints between 25 and 35%. It actually starts out lower at the beginning of the window, and then at the 20% and increases up to 35% as we make our way through.
Yeah, Kate, it's possible.
Ground winds are 17 knots.
So there's 3 SRBs on one side and 2 on the other.
Primary concern for launch today is cumulus clouds, anvil clouds, and surface electric fields. So we are watching the weather very closely, as we always do. As we mentioned earlier, those weather rules are just as important as any other flight rule, but this weather today looks much better than our first attempt.
That's right, Caleb. And these weather rules are designed to keep the vehicle safe from wind, lightning, and other potential weather risks. And we mentioned earlier about measuring the surface electricity, and that's basically the smarter way for saying that we are watching the lightning and the potential for it to be in this area.
Dan, we need to look low on the horizon.
One thing that we always notice here when you get a live look at Atlas on the pad is that you have 4 lightning towers situated around
for
Atlas.
us in mass looks
and so that basically there's a mitigation
low
strategy.
on the
If there
horizon.
is lightning in the area, it's supposed to conduct through the towers instead of hitting our rocket and our very precious payload.
Very good, and you can get a better view of the clearer skies that we
Anvil
have.
is
Still
losing
some clouds
energy
in the area,
in Torrey
but
Bruno.
still proceeding toward launch with acceptable weather.
Port is green.
SRB ignition enabled.
All right.
Box 2, verify CISA purge flowing Jan 2 to the CISA.
Verified.
OSM, verify the FCO, ROC, and OSM whole power switches are in the proceed position.
Okay.
Ready to proceed.
RLM, verify red line monitor event table are in the correct configuration for terminal count. Verified. RC, verify solar radiation acceptable for launch.
Verified. Launch on time verified.
Roger. LC, switch to the ready position. All steps are complete prior to the status check.
We remain in the planned 15-minute hold as we continue towards liftoff. In a few moments,
sun is starting to go down here
ULA
anyway,
launch
so
conductor
we'll see.
Scott Barney will pull the team for the final go to pick up the launch countdown.
All right, here we go.
The launch coordinator, conducts the launch team during countdown, similar to how a symphony conductor is coordinating an orchestra.
28 engineers are pulled to confirm the rocket is ready to proceed. This is the final status check for all Atlas vehicle systems, ground systems, and the payload, as well as the U.S. Space Force Eastern Range. Let's listen in as he performs the pull.
Pushing through the center of mass makes it more stable, and it makes it easier for the RD-180 to compensate.
Go at throttle up.
Should get into the pole here.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Milo. I guess not.
Oh, minus 7 minutes.
Okay.
Status check to proceed with terminal count. Atlas systems, propulsion.
Go.
Hydraulics.
Go.
Pneumatics.
Go.
LO2.
Go.
Water.
Go.
Centaur systems, propulsion. Go. Pneumatics. Go. LO2.
Go.
LH2.
Go.
House gas.
Go.
Electrical systems, airborne.
Go.
Ground.
Go.
Facility.
Go.
RFFTS.
Go.
Flight control.
Go.
GCQ.
Go.
Op support.
Go.
Chat.
Com.
Go.
Availables.
Go.
BCS.
Go.
Redline monitor. Go. Quality.
Go.
Op safety manager.
Go.
ULA safety officer.
Go.
Vehicle system engineer.
Go.
Anomaly chief.
Go.
Range coordinator.
Go.
Launch director.
You have permission to launch.
Proceeding with the count.
Atlas 5's in all the
ALC,
rocket tech controls. That's why they have more
verify
people
T0
around.
For 2301 Zulu.
Verified.
Is complete, and the team is go for launch.
From now until liftoff, launch conductor Scott Barney and the launch team will continue reporting the final steps in today's countdown.
This includes verifying propellant levels and pressures in the booster and Centaur fuel tanks, as well as arming the ordnance for ignition, separation, and flight termination systems.
At T-minus 1 minute, the range confirms it is in a green condition for launch, assuring there are no nearby constraints like boats, planes, or weather, and that all tracking systems are operational. At T-minus 25 seconds, you'll hear Go Atlas, Go Centaur, Go Kuiper. This is the final status check for the rocket and the payload.
To dampen the acoustic shock at liftoff, at T-minus 6 seconds, the launch pad's water deluge system activates, followed a few seconds later by the RD-180 booster engine ignition. Then, after seeing Atlas lift off, you'll hear flight commentator Sarah Bailey Glasgow providing the updates as the rocket ascends. So, as you might have noticed, voices playing in the background of this broadcast, that is actually voices being played on our Channel 1 broadcast, which is our internal net system. So hearing that provides a unique commentary that you normally don't see in this industry, and it kind of gives you a feel of what our exact engineers feel when they are sitting on console here. So we are listening to that together live.
ULA is in a planned hold.
Very cool to be hearing.
They should
Channel
release
1,
here in
launch
a moment.
conductor, as well as the team as we proceed into these final minutes prior to launch. You'll hear them working through all those final steps leading up to the T0, which is now 1 minute past the hour at 7:01 Eastern Time.
Yeah, and thinking about how big this moment is and how excited we are to partner with Amazon, that is about to bring a constellation that's basically going to change the world in terms of internet connectivity. And it's really cool that we're doing this on Atlas, which is the OG of rockets. And Atlas has launched so many unique missions and unique payloads and set so many records in the space industry. So it's really cool to see a payload that's both going to share on Atlas and Vulcan as we ride into this future of ULA together.
really is cool to launch this new era, and we were so excited about talking about Atlas, we went right past the T-4 hold release. So you can see that that hold is released and the clock is counting. We are at just about T-3 minutes and 18 seconds.
Okay, Dr. No.
After liftoff, ULA's Atlas V rocket will fly northeast from Space Launch Complex 41. Here's a
Yeah.
look at today's flight.
Guys, I'm gonna pop in the ads real quick so nobody gets an ad during ascent. So yeah, I don't like ads, but if I run them now, you won't get them during ascent if you're not subscribed. I'm not asking for subs. I earn subs, so I run the ads here so you have an uninterrupted viewing experience. I'll be back in a second.
Flight path while minimizing the dynamic.
And if you're still here, hey, what's up? Turbo's pretty cool.
Mach 1, the speed of sound. The addition of 5 solid rocket boosters, or
Yeah, we heard that too, Snackless. It was yeah,
giving
okay.
it the power to deliver the payload to orbit. With their propellant expired
this is space.
approximately
I'm in
96
space.
seconds into ascent, the SRBs burn out, followed by jettison. Atlas's guidance system then begins steering towards the precise target of space. Amazon's Kuiper satellites are encapsulated inside a 5-meter diameter payload fairing, which provides protection to the spacecraft during ascent. After crossing the Kármán line, entering space, the payload fairing is jettisoned. With the majority of propellant expended fighting against the force of gravity, the RD-180 engine shuts down and the booster stage separates. The rocket then begins second stage flight, weighing less than 7% of what it did at liftoff. ULA's high-performance Centaur, with its RL-10 engine, ignites, powering the upper stage and spacecraft into a circular low Earth orbit. The first burn comes to an end with engine shutdown, followed by Centaur orienting into the proper position to release Amazon's Project Kuiper satellites to begin building their low Earth orbit satellite broadband network.
For those of you just joining us, I'm Caleb Weiss here with Britt Porcelli for today's live coverage of ULA's Atlas V launch of Amazon's Project Kuiper satellites.
At this time, the team is not working
dude,
any
nice
issues,
ULA
and we're
mug.
proceeding towards our liftoff
I
at
like
7:01
the light
p.m.
one over there. That one's pretty good.
And we just came inside of T-1.
Okay, here we go. It's possible, Trey. I'm gonna take a look, guys. If this thing should pop up 5 to 6 minutes, I'm gonna go outside and I'll see if I can see it.
40.
Stable at step 3.
Should get one final thing here for the go.
28.
Verify ECS reduced for launch.
Environmental control system.
Status check.
Go Atlas. Go Centaur.
Go KA-01.
Okay. 15.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Pad deluge
We have
system is on.
ignition, 2,
RD-180 ignition.
And full thrust.
Yeah!
and liftoff of the United Launch Alliance
Send it.
Atlas V rocket.
Gale
Carrying
1.
satellites for Amazon's Project Kuiper Internet constellation.
There's a good
Marking
shot
the
of
start of a new
Linda.
chapter in low Earth orbit satellite
You is
connectivity.
now on closed loop control. Engaging first.
Man, that thing hauls. Gale 1 is in the air.
Engine program. Engine operating parameters continue to look good.
And into the clouds. Low clouds in
And
Florida
we've
today.
successfully completed our roll program. Hydraulics continue to operate nominally. Mach 1, Atlas V is now supersonic.
It's pretty quick. That's pretty quick
Body rates continue
for
to look
a
good.
rocket that big.
Engine continues to operate as expected. Throttling back up.
You are hearing Sarah
Out of the
Bailey
throttle
Glasgow
bucket.
providing launch vehicle ascent data.
We are now 7 miles in altitude, moving at 1,700 miles an hour.
Man, that thing
Now
goes
passing 1 minute
fast.
into flight.
1 minute. Whoa! 1 minute.
Vehicle
You're way up
continues to
there.
Pass through the center of the rain track as expected.
She's a beast, dude. What a sweet rocket. That thing's
SRBs
awesome.
continue to operate nominally. Throttling down, engine continues to burn as expected. Body rates continue to look good. Vehicle is now 1/2 of its liftoff weight. Max Q passing through maximum dynamic pressure. Coming up on SRB burnout. And
So-
we have good indication of SRB burnout.
So they're
10
gonna
seconds from SRB
they're gonna
Jettison.
coast with the
Throttling
SRBs
back
for a
up.
second here, and then they'll let them go once they get higher up in the atmosphere.
And we have good indication of
Bye-bye.
temperature of all 5 SRBs. Engine continues to burn normally. We are now 32 miles in altitude, moving at 4,000 miles an hour.
We just heard confirmation
Coming
of
up
the
on 2
solid
minutes
rocket
in
booster
flight.
jettison. These additional motors augmented the thrust at liftoff to give Atlas rocket
It's
an extra
5:51.
boost to reach its circular low Earth orbit destination.
There's 27
These
satellites
SRBs are
on
called
board,
GEM
Basement.
63s, which stand for graphite epoxy motor and are 63 inches in diameter. The most obvious difference you'll see between Atlas and Vulcan SRBs is the nose cone shape. Vulcan has a conical nose cone, whereas Atlas has a duckbill or ogive shape. We're coming up here on our next mission event, jettison of the payload fairing. Let's listen in to Sarah.
Continues to move down the center of the range track.
No, they're not
Moving
going
at
fast enough to
5,300
burn up
miles an hour.
completely, Arbennis. Yeah, that's what GEM stands for in GEM 63.
Body rates continue to operate nominally. And we are now holding acceleration at 2.5 Gs in preparation for payload bearing jettison.
Why don't they do that Russian cross
And
thing
we
like the
have
rest? There's 5 of
activated
them.
the Centaur reaction control system.
Centaur RCS is pressurized.
And we have passed the Kármán line. We have exited Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, baby.
Vehicle is now 1/4 of its liftoff weight.
T plus 3 minutes. Everything's looking good. Should be coming up on payload fairing jettison
and we
and
have
then
good indication of
CFLR
payload bearing
jettison.
jettison.
There it is.
And good indication of CFLR deck jettison.
Centaur
Engine
forward
continues to
load
operate as
reactor.
expected.
It's
Flight commentator Sarah Bailey Glasgow just called
basically
out
a-
information
a
of
a
payload
strut
bearing
that
jettison.
holds the top of
The
the
composite
Centaur.
fairing protects the space.
The CFLR is up here, in case anybody's wondering. It holds the top of the Centaur inside of that gigantic payload fairing.
And separation of the booster stage, followed by ignition of ULA Centaur
KO1 is
second
approaching
stage.
the Outer Banks here.
These events occur when the first stage has escaped Earth's atmosphere, getting above the Kármán line and into space. The Centaur upper stage, with the Kuiper satellites attached, then takes over on a trajectory to a precise location
I mean, the flip
in
looks
space.
different. They must be
Let's
detached
listen
differently.
in
I don't
as
know.
we approach these milestones.
It's a different separator mechanism.
Body rates are
Bob.
smooth. Hydraulics continue to look good. 30 seconds to pico. Boost phase chill down in progress. Temperatures are operating as expected.
This is telemetry driven, Curtis. This is fine. Go
Use
outside.
onto open loop control
Guys,
as
I'm over
expected.
here.
Engine continues to operate nominally.
I highly doubt that I can see that.
And we've completed boost phase chill down as expected.
At staging, I'll go see.
And we have good indication of booster engine cutoff.
Pico. Separation.
And we have good indication of Centaur
Oh,
separation.
yeah, baby.
Restart on fuel and locks. Good staging.
Centaur pre-start. Yeah.
And full thrust. RL10 is
Awesome.
running nominally.
Yeah, baby. RL10 doing RL10 things.
Steering has been enabled as expected.
Did you see it? You see it picking? Dude,
Engines
look at
are
it! Look at it!
continuing
Look
to
at it!
operate
Oh,
as
that's sick!
expected.
Haha.
This is Atlas Mission Control at T plus 5
Did you
minutes.
see it do the wiggle?
We just heard flight commentator Sarah Bailey Glasgow confirm the successful completion of today's early milestones in today's flight, and all
right.
systems continue to
I'm gonna go
operate
look.
nominally.
I'll see what I can see. I'll
So
be
what
right
we saw
back.
today, we had a nice smooth countdown, beautiful weather, beautiful liftoff, and Atlas V is on its way to orbit to take those 27 Kuiper satellites, put them on their way, and really start this new era in internet connectivity. So Atlas is on its way to making history again, Britt.
And that's what you love to see, Caleb. You love to see a nominal launch, not working any issues, and the weather window work perfectly and open up right for us at the beginning of our launch window. So as we wrap up today's live coverage, we wanted to say thank you to all of you who have tuned in on today's flight and remind everybody that for more information about ULA and the Atlas V rocket, please visit ulalaunch.com and subscribe to our ULA Launch YouTube channel. And before we sign off, let's take one last look at today's liftoff. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. We have ignition, 2, 1.
Ignition and full thrust. 5 good SRBs.
And liftoff of the United Launch Alliance Atlas V rocket, carrying satellites for Amazon's Project Kuiper internet constellation. Marking the start
Body
of a new
rates
chapter in low Earth orbit satellite
View is
connectivity.
now on closed loop control. Engaging first throttle segment. And we've completed our pitch program. Engine operating parameters continue to look good.
Nah, I got nothing. You can't see it.
And we've successfully completed our roll program. Hydraulics
It's
continue to
there.
operate nominally.
I'm looking in the direction. I know it's there. I
Class
just
1,
can't
Atlas
see it.
5 is now supersonic. Body rates continue to look good.
Well, there you go. That was the KAO1 launch coverage. You saw it, Trey? I couldn't find it, dude. Yeah, you can't. I mean, I'll go take one more look, dude. I'll be right back. But the Centaur is hard to see. That RL-10 doesn't have a lot of kick behind it, but where it lacks in kick, it makes up for inefficiency.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Can't see it, dudes. Ah, oh well. Anyway, good stuff. Do you see how fast that thing got off the pad? Atlas is a beast, dude. Pretty good. Pretty good. Well, that's going to do it for Project Kuiper coverage. Amazon treating their missions like a national security launch. Yeah, what's up with that, man? What are they worried someone's going to copy them or something, or? How long does the second stage burn? Oh, it's still going right now, dude. Yeah, it's still going. It's probably gonna go for another couple minutes, and then they'll hit main engine cutoff. Yeah, I felt the liftoff thump. Yep. It's good stuff. Good stuff. We got 2 rocket launches. Keep in mind, guys, there's still another rocket launch scheduled here. There's still another rocket launch here. We got a Starlink at 10:30 tonight. I haven't heard anything, Foss. No. Yeah, I can't really see it. That Centaur, unless it's dark, it's really hard to see it. Is this gonna be like Starlink? If so, 2 massive constellations. Will it cause problems launching into space? No. The Kuiper satellites are pretty high up in the air, Sharktail, so I wouldn't worry about it too much. Yeah, Aquax for sure. Did you see that the Senate is scheduled to hold this? It's a subcommittee vote for Jared on Wednesday. I don't know if it's a full meeting program, but either way, yeah, good stuff. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, I didn't really have much more space news for the day. There is another launch at 10:30, but I don't know. What do you want to do now? So have you seen the Slate truck? Pretty neat. I want one. Yeah, Slate's pretty cool. MSC? No. No. That's on Wednesday, dude. I don't want to play MSC and not on a day where I didn't say I was gonna play it. Car stuff? We can go out there. Back to the Rule 8 landmine. No. I started talking about it and I didn't really like where that conversation was going, Graham, so I stopped. Hearts? Hearts of Iron? Just hearts? Really? Hearts of Iron or Beavers, please. Red Dead? Huh. More workers. KSP. What's KSP? Starfield? Get out of here. Red Dead? Really? Okay. I don't have it installed. Hold on. Mod-based Red Dead Starfield mashup. Speaking of KSP, there's some new KSA clips on the Dev Updates channel. Guys, I can't do Red Dead right now. I have to log into the Rockstar launcher, and I'm not gonna sit here while I go. I don't want you guys sitting here while I'm going through tech support. We could keep going in workers if you want. I wouldn't mind doing that until the Starlink launch. Once again, I'll get Red Dead at the end of the Starlink launch. Right before I log off the stream, just remind me to ever played Schedule 1? No. Yeah, at the end of the stream, just remind me to install the game if I don't remember. Hang on, I'm shutting the garage door. I had it open to see if I could see the launch. I'll be right back. Okay. All right. Remember to install Red Dead. Oh, I just said to do that at the end of the stream. Do you want to end the stream now? We can end the stream now. Go get something to eat. I have leftover Dominoes, dude. Just saying. Anyway, I'll jog the VOD on the YouTube side of things, guys. We'll get into part 33 for Yakograd Republic. Who, Fish? How much longer until they have to get the first half of their constellation up? Oh, I don't remember. It's soon though. They gotta go. All right. Somewhere in 2026. You ever gonna finish Starfield? I finished Starfield. Hey, Leglander, thanks for the raid. Anyway, I'll be right back. YouTube, I'm jogging the VOD real quick. I'm gonna switch over to workers, and we'll go from there.
in the tundra where the chill gives birth, rises a beacon of unmeasured worth. Yakograd stands with its banner so